The Appalachian Mountains are home to black bears, venomous snakes, and wild boar. But the creature that sends more people to the hospital than all of them combined weighs less than a gram. These are the 10 animals you need to know about before hiking the Appalachian Mountains, ranked from overrated to genuinely deadly. In the 10th place, black bears loom large in Appalachian folklore, but the real danger is far smaller than most imagine. Despite their size and reputation as apex predators, black bears have caused only 2 fatal attacks on the Appalachian Trail since 2000, both in Tennessee, amid more than 3 million annual hikers. That is 1 in 24 million chance of a fatal encounter, making bears less of a threat than lightning or even a slip on wet rocks. Black bears are naturally timid, turning aggressive only when they become accustomed to human food. The simplest precaution: always store food in bear-proof containers or hang it well away from camp. With proper food storage, the odds of a deadly bear encounter drop to nearly zero, leaving most hikers to pass through bear country in safety and awe. Number 9. Coyotes often trigger alarm with their yips and howls echoing through Appalachian valleys, but the real risk lies not in attack, but in disease. Unlike their wolf cousins, coyotes are small scavengers, timid, quick to flee, and rarely aggressive toward humans. In fact, there are no documented fatal coyote attacks on the Appalachian Trail, and direct confrontations are exceptionally rare. The genuine danger comes if a coyote is carrying rabies. Any mammal bite, no matter how minor, requires immediate medical attention and post-exposure prophylaxis to prevent this fatal virus. State surveillance confirms rabid coyotes do appear sporadically throughout the region, so hikers should never dismiss an animal acting strangely or approaching without fear. The best defense is simple: give coyotes space, avoid feeding wildlife, and if bitten, seek prompt treatment. With these precautions, coyotes remain more a source of nighttime chorus than a serious threat along the trail. 8th place, here's the info trap. Wild boar aren't just a nuisance in the Appalachian Mountains. When cornered, they become one of the region's most aggressive threats. Unlike native predators that tend to avoid humans, wild boar will charge at speeds up to 11 miles per hour, especially when protecting their young. These invaders trace back to a 1912 escape from Hooper Bald in North Carolina, and since then, more than 13,000 have been removed from the Great Smoky Mountains alone. Adult males average 125 pounds, armed with razor-sharp tusks up to 5 inches long. Encounters are most likely in lower elevations near the Smokies, but the risk is serious where populations persist. The best avoidance tip: never approach a boar, and if you spot piglets, back away slowly. Boar won't back down if they feel trapped. Number 7. The brown recluse spider is the classic hidden threat. Its bite can cause serious tissue damage, but the risk is often misunderstood. Brown recluses are shy, nocturnal spiders that prefer dark, undisturbed places like old woodpiles or clothing left on the ground. The info trap: most bites happen without notice, and symptoms, pain, swelling, and blistering may not appear for 3 to 8 hours. In rare cases, the venom can trigger necrosis, a slow process where skin and underlying tissue break down over weeks or even months. Yet despite the dramatic reputation, deaths are extremely rare, and most bites heal with proper care. The real danger is delayed recognition and infection, not instant catastrophe. Dermatology case studies confirm that early medical attention greatly reduces complications. A simple prevention tip: always shake out boots and gear before use. With caution and awareness, the brown recluse's threat becomes manageable rather than menacing. Number 6. The black widow spider delivers a classic info trap. Its venom is up to 15 times more potent per milligram than a rattlesnake's, yet fatalities are almost unheard of with modern treatment. The black widow prefers dark, undisturbed corners under old logs, in rock crevices, or tucked into the corners of outhouses and shelters along the Appalachian Trail. Female spiders, marked by a red hourglass on their underside, bite only when threatened. A bite can trigger intense muscle cramps, nausea, and difficulty breathing, symptoms that often peak within hours. But with prompt medical care, deaths are extremely rare. Antivenom and supportive treatment resolve nearly all cases. The real risk is severe pain, not mortality. To avoid an unpleasant surprise, always inspect boots, gloves, and sleeping bags before use. In the Appalachian backcountry, vigilance and a quick gear shake are usually all it takes to keep this formidable spider from turning a hike into a hospital visit. Number 5. The Copperhead snake delivers the classic info trap. It bites more Americans than any other venomous snake, yet deaths are vanishingly rare. Each year, around 2,920 people are bitten nationwide, but the fatality rate sits at just 0.01%, about one death every 4 years. Copperheads are masters of camouflage, blending perfectly into leaf litter with their tan bodies and hourglass bands. Instead of fleeing when threatened, they freeze, which is why hikers so often step directly on them. Most bites happen by accident, not aggression. Symptoms can include pain and swelling, but with prompt medical care, full recovery is the norm. Untreated, though, bites can cause permanent tissue damage. The real lesson: Copperheads are common and easy to overlook, but almost never deadly. Wearing boots, watching your step, and seeking immediate treatment if bitten are the keys to turning a high encounter rate into a minimal risk. Number 4. The timber rattlesnake delivers a stark info trap. Its venom is among the deadliest in the Appalachians, yet most bites are avoidable for those who heed its warning. Found sunning on rocks from Georgia to Maine, this snake carries both neurotoxic and hemotoxic venom. Untreated, a bite can be fatal in as many as 1 in 10 to 1 in 100 cases, a risk far higher than copperheads or black widows. In North Carolina alone, the snakebite rate climbs to 19 per 100,000 residents, 5 times the national average, reflecting the region's dense rattlesnake populations. Yet nearly every bite occurs when someone tries to handle or kill the snake, ignoring the clear rattle that signals danger. With modern antivenom, fatalities are now rare, but immediate medical care remains critical. The lesson is clear: respect the warning, keep your distance, and the timber rattlesnake stays a symbol of Appalachian wildness, not a headline. Number 3 turns the size-danger equation upside down. Yellow jackets, not bears or snakes, account for the highest acute insect mortality in the Appalachians. The info trap here is simple. Most hikers fear the big predators, but it's these tiny wasps that kill an average of 72 Americans each year, far outpacing all venomous reptiles combined. Yellow jackets build their nests in the ground, often in abandoned rodent burrows right beside the trail. Step too close, and hundreds can swarm in seconds, each able to sting repeatedly and release alarm pheromones that call in even more attackers. Unlike honeybees, yellow jackets don't lose their stinger, making multiple stings the norm in a single encounter. The real spike in risk comes late summer through the first frost, when colonies are at their peak and foraging is frantic. For those with allergies, a single sting can trigger anaphylaxis, making an EpiPen an essential piece of hiking gear. Even for the non-allergic, the sheer number of stings can overwhelm the body's defenses. The lesson: watch for wasps flying low to the ground, avoid disturbing nest sites, and never swat at a single yellow jacket, because there's often a nest nearby. In the hierarchy of Appalachian hazards, these small insects deliver a big, often overlooked threat. Coming to the top 2, the deer tick turns the classic fear list on its head. Here the real killer is almost invisible. Smaller than a poppy seed, the black-legged tick thrives in the lush, low-elevation woods of the Appalachian Trail, especially from Maryland to Massachusetts. The info trap is simple. Most hikers worry about bears or snakes, yet it's this tiny parasite that delivers the greatest blow to human health. The CDC estimates about 476,000 Americans are diagnosed with Lyme disease each year, and surveys show that 9% of Appalachian Trail hikers report being treated for Lyme during their journey, a staggering rate compared to the general population. Infection risk peaks from May through July when ticks are most active. The true danger is not just the initial flu-like illness, but the aftermath. If left untreated, up to 60% of cases progress to chronic, sometimes lifelong complications, joint pain, neurological problems, and relentless fatigue. Unlike dramatic animal attacks, tick-borne illness is insidious, often going unnoticed until symptoms set in weeks later. Nightly tick checks, permethrin-treated clothing, and prompt removal are the most effective defenses. In the hierarchy of Appalachian hazards, the deer tick is the silent threat that demands respect, not fear, proof that the most dangerous encounters are often the ones you never see coming. And finally, in first place, the real killer in the Appalachian Mountains is not a predator at all, but the gentle white-tailed deer. The info trap here is as stark as it gets. More than 200 Americans die each year in collisions with deer, a toll that dwarfs the combined fatalities from bears, snakes, spiders, and stinging insects. On Appalachian roads, especially at dawn and dusk, deer are a constant, unpredictable hazard. During the fall rut, when mating drives deer to cross highways without warning, risk climbs even higher. State transportation records and federal data confirm over 10,000 injuries annually from deer vehicle crashes, with the vast majority occurring in regions where deer are most abundant, precisely the wooded valleys and rolling hills that define the Appalachian landscape. The irony is inescapable. Hikers spend weeks safely traversing bear and snake country only to face their greatest danger behind the wheel. Defensive driving, slowing down in deer-prone corridors, scanning verges at sunrise and sunset, and staying alert during the autumn rut remains the most effective protection. In the end, the most lethal animal in the Appalachians is not the one that stalks the trail, but the one that leaps unexpectedly across the road, turning a routine drive into the region's deadliest wildlife encounter. Across all 10 encounters, one pattern emerges. The greatest dangers in the Appalachians aren't the animals we fear, but the ones we overlook. True risk hides in the ordinary and the invisible. Awareness, not anxiety, is the best protection for every hiker and resident. Stay curious, stay safe.